Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Super Paranormal Chronicles. My name's Lee. I'm the host, and today I am delighted to have another crazy podcaster, Ashley from Ghost Gossip. Ashley, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fabulous, because I'm talking to another podcaster who's now part of the big family that we've just been talking about off air. See, now you've known me, and you know Tommy, and you know a couple of others. This family will get closer and closer, and we'll be knocking on your door middle of the night going, put the kettle on.
Well, come on down. I got enough room for all of us. Come on.
What do you do? Live in a hotel or something? Like you've got all the bedrooms?
Well, I have 3 teenagers, so I have quite a few rooms. I have some space.
I'm going to say it, and you've probably been told this, you don't look old enough to have 3 teenagers.
You're so sweet, and now my official favorite. Thank you.
Favourite Brit. Let's get it right before Tommy says it. Okay,
Sorry,
so
Tommy.
yeah. I'll tag him when I launch this, and you stop giving me grief, dude. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Somebody's got to do it.
Exactly. So, before we start talking about your podcast, that if nobody knows what Ghost Gossip is, it is all over Instagram and Facebook, and you're everywhere in social media. So the first major question, do you actually have a real job, or is this your job?
This is my job. I worked for the federal government for 15 years, and I was with the state government before that. So I was with the government for almost 20 years total. And I left last year to become a stay-at-home mom. And I was doing this before, but I couldn't keep up with my full-time job because my judge was about an hour from my house. So I was like constantly driving to court and back. And I had the podcast just took a backseat to everything else. And if I had time, then I would do it. But when you have 3 teenagers and you're working full time and you're married and all that, you have all those responsibilities. This was not a priority. So when I left my job and then I went through like that depression after you have that big life change and you're like, what did I do? What is wrong with me? I made a mistake. What do I do with my life? I was like, you know what? I'm going to really dedicate my time at home to this. And that's what I did. I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years, but really for the past year, I've really been committed.
I would say, like I said, and even off air, like I see you everywhere. I feel like you're a little stalker, but online.
I'm watching you.
Yeah. But I can relate to that because I'm actually a government employee myself. And sometimes I feel that the work gets in the way of this. And it's just like...
It certainly does.
It does. It's sort of like, yeah. But yeah, sometimes I might have to take a sick day because I've got this to do.
Yes. And I was very good at what I did. I did it for a long time. And people thought I was crazy for leaving the federal government. But, especially not to make this political, but just in the States, what's been going on the last year. I am so glad I'm not there anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't imagine. It's been, because we worked with ICE and everything. We worked very closely.
Okay.
So I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. Oof.
I can 100% agree with that. Right. So let's get on with the podcast. So how did you first get interested in the paranormal?
When I was a child, I had my first experience around the age of 13. And I had 2 experiences very close together. And I've told both these stories so many times. I don't know which one came first. I didn't take notes when I was 13. I just know they were about the same time frame. So the first experience that I attribute to my first experience was with a dog that was not mine. And my parents had some friends. They were going on a double date, and their friends had a little boy, and I was going to babysit. And I was so excited. It was my first time babysitting. It was my first time having that huge responsibility. And so we drove, and where we live, it's hilly, mountains. And I was so excited. I ran up the hill. My parents were walking behind me. I rang the doorbell, and there was this dog barking at the bottom of the door. And I was so excited because I love dogs. So I was like, yes, there's a dog. Well, they opened the door, and there's no dog. And I was like, Okay. Well, I just figured it was a biter and they put it away. So as the night went on, I would hear the dog every now and again. Never found the dog. Didn't really look for the dog, to be fair, because I was like, if they put him away, he needs to stay away, right?
Yeah.
So I put the little boy to bed. I was sitting in the living room waiting for them to get back, and they got back and they walk in, and I look at him. I'm like, "Where's your dog?" And the owner froze and looked at my dad, and he's like, "Well, your dad asked me the same question because my dad and my mom heard it as well." And he's like, and I told them at dinner, our dog died 6 months ago. And we hear the dog, but not everybody hears the dog. So we never say anything because we never know who hears it and who doesn't. And that was like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, and experiencing it with my parents too. So it was very validating. Like, that happened.
Yeah. That's
And then, oops, sorry.
crazy. And your second one?
My second one, my grandfather passed away. And at age 13, I was really confused because I wasn't really sad. We weren't really close and I didn't know how to feel. And you know, when you're 13, you big emotions. I have 13-year-olds now. Oh yeah, lots of emotion. Lots of emotion about everything, right? And so when he passed away, he died from some health issues and I remember seeing him in the hospital, but my mom didn't take us in there because he was already gone. And he didn't look like himself and she didn't want us in there, but I did see him from afar. And I just remember like being sad for my mom, but not like I wasn't crying. I wasn't devastated. I was really confused. I didn't know how to feel. And one night after his funeral, I was in bed and my whole room, like around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I was awake just thinking. I deal with sleep issues still to this day. And my whole room engulfed in his scent. And he was really rigid with his hygiene routine because he was in the army for like 40 years. And he had a really distinct smell and he was there. I could smell him just like he was standing next to me.
Wow. It's really weird, but it's cool in a I've had this experience kind of thing that I can't explain. So, did you actually realize what it was, or was there a time that you were kind of confused and misconstrued about what was happening?
With my grandfather, I was very confused because I didn't, with the dog, it was very clear because there were so many people experiencing it, like the husband, the wife, my mom, my dad, me. It was very clear that this was a little ghost dog. But with the smell, I was like, that is that did I imagine that? Was that real? So I went to my mom and I told my mom and she said that he was just checking in on me. So my parents have always been really supportive of my weird. And they like even when I got like all my tattoos, like I'm not covered head to toe, but I got more than anybody else in my family. And I remember my mom patting my dad like, "We still love her, David. We still love her." So they've always been very supportive of my weird. And she never told me, "Oh, we don't talk about that," or "That's crazy," or you got to ignore that. It's a demon." It wasn't anything like that. So it was really nice to have that. Oh, they're just checking in on you.
So, these were your first experiences. So, what kind of road did you then take for this to become, which is now quite a big thing in your life?
So when I was in my early 20s, I had some more experiences, but I can tell you about those. But it wasn't until I bought my haunted house in 2022 that this really became such a huge part of my life because I was living in it. It wasn't like I was fascinated or interested in the paranormal. I was, but when you start living in it and you're experiencing things on a regular basis, and this becomes your life and you're constantly living with something you cannot see and they are torturing you on a regular basis. It just I was like I was scared of it initially, but I was like after a while I was like, "Uh-uh. No, 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 no. No, sir. You're not going to do this to me. This is my house." And so after we fought back and forth, I know that sounds crazy. We fought back and forth a little bit, like tried to cleanse him away. He wouldn't go anywhere. He tried to scare me away. I didn't go anywhere. I decided we're going to coexist here. This is your room and this is where you're going to stay. And then as I got comfortable with the paranormal, I started researching, I started watching, I started meeting people, and now like it is my personality.
And like, yeah, I could actually say, well, what about the guy that stood behind you? But I'm not going to go there.
Well, there probably is one. He is the owner of this house. He hangs out. He really loves my studio. So
Oh, cool.
if you are sensitive and you do sense a male, that's him, but that's a different guy. That's not the same guy.
Okay. So, at what point did you kind of decide I want to embrace this totally, and to the point where you decided that you were going to do a podcast?
In 2022, when I was dealing with everything, I mean, I legitimately felt crazy because of what was going on. And my husband, he's very supportive. He's a great man. And he does the podcast with me every once in a while. But he was not a believer. He was a huge skeptic. And I'm like, I need to talk about this. And you're making me feel crazy. Like, love you, mean it. We got into so many arguments because he was not experiencing what I was. And he was talking to me like I was insane and I didn't appreciate it. And it wasn't until he started having experiences that he kind of backed down from there's nothing in it. It's just a bug, Ashley. It's your imagination, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I need to talk about this. I know people have stories. When I tell somebody my haunted house story, they usually light up because more than likely they lived in one or their grandmother lived in one. And they are so excited to talk to somebody who doesn't judge them. And
Yeah.
I was like, I want a safe place for people to be able to tell their stories, to listen to stories, to learn about it. And there's no judgment. Everybody's experiences are very real to them. And I believe them. Like, and I want them to be able to come to me and share those. And then it just morphed from there. And now I'm stalking you on social media.
And I love every minute of it. It's
Ah!
wonderful. And it's right what you say, because I was a skeptic for the longest time. And when I was talking to Tommy on his podcast, he actually said something that made me think about something that happened when I was like 5 or 6 years old that I couldn't explain. And to the point where I asked my brother about it, and he went, "Oh yeah, we're both scared out of our pants." Yeah, and it was this place. And he described it exactly how I remember it. So the fact that both of us experienced the same thing, was it paranormal? We don't know, but we could not explain it. We were still children. But yeah, and even after that, I was still, yeah, I spent 25 years in the emergency services. I've been in the military, all this, but I was still an extremely skeptical person until being a paramedic at a cardiac arrest. And the guy I'm working with turned out to be a medium. And he actually said that the spirit of the patient is stood behind you and you can stop. Say what? So that kind of got my intrigue. And this was in the mid 90s. So then, moving forward, I came to Canada and got the team together now, and sort of like now we do the investigating and stuff. But have you actually been part of a paranormal investigation team?
I have not. I've been on investigations before, but I've never been like a part of a team. So I've gone. My friend Ben he runs a haunted prison up in North Carolina, and I met him through the podcast. And so I did an investigation with him. And then I also investigated my haunted house with another paranormal team from South Carolina. And so I mean, I've been a part of investigations, but I've never been part of a team.
Okay. So, can you go back to your very first public investigation that you did? Where did you go, and how did your expectations compare to the end of the night after you experienced something?
Well, so I will tell you, I'm a sensitive. I do not label myself a psychic medium, but I've been told I am one. I don't label myself because I'm not very good. I'm hit or miss, but I am very sensitive to energy, to people, places. And so it was a little different for me going in, being sensitive, knowing that I am sensitive because what I experience sometimes is more than what other people experience. And sometimes I magnify it because of my abilities and I make it more so. So I went to the Mount Pleasant, let's see, it's in Mount Pleasant. It's called the Whiskey Prison in Mount Pleasant. It was once a prison. And hold on, let me see if I can get the information here so I say it right. But they're a brewery, or not a brewery. They make bourbon. So I'm not sure what
Okay.
that's called.
A distillery.
Yes, thank you, a distillery. And so it's like, hey, come and drink some bourbon and then go for a ghost hunt, right?
Okay.
Come get trashed and then let's go find some ghosts, right? Well, I am not a bourbon drinker, so I was completely not drunk at all. My husband and his friend, they had done some tasting. They enjoyed themselves, but me and my friend Emily, we don't drink bourbon, so it was we went in and I am clairaudient, so I can hear things sometimes. And I heard some stuff that other people didn't hear. And it was great to find out afterwards that they were actually picked up on some of the EVPs. So that was really cool. I love my dowsing rods. I don't do them for people on a regular basis because they are so frowned upon within the investigative group or in the investigative world. But I did them there and it was amazing. I got touched. I had somebody rubbing my leg, and I was like, I had to ask my husband, like, "Is there a bug on my leg?" And so we have it on video. He's like, got the flashlight looking at my leg, and he's like, "No." So something was rubbing my leg, and then something rubbed my ankles. There was some feet people there. The prisoners liked feet, and then I had somebody grab the back of my arm. I thought it was my husband. I fussed at him. He's like, "I didn't touch you."
It wasn't me.
Yep, and then I started getting sick, so I had to leave because it was just too much energy in one space, and then we had a lot of REM pod activity, and I have a REM pod that I use, like, during episodes and stuff, just when I talk about these haunted places, just to see, I'm curious, and it never goes off. It's quite boring, and it was going crazy. It was going crazy. It was so fun, and Ben told me, he's like, "We have activity here. We have never had activity here like when you were here."
So that brings me round to the fact that you've been told that you have abilities,
Mhm.
but you kind of don't admit to some of them.
Yeah. I know that the psychic part, I will admit to that because I know things that I shouldn't about people that I don't know and about places. Now it's not a parlor trick. Like you'd be like, "What am I thinking about?" And my kids do it to me all the time, and I'm like, "Leave me alone. You're thinking about dinner." But anyway, but it's not like a parlor trick. It just kind of like hits me out of nowhere. I'll be like washing my hair, and I call them pings or direct connect messages. Like just doing something completely unrelated, and all of a sudden it's like this intrusive thought, and I'm like, go away, why am I thinking about that? Or I'll hear people call my name, or I'll hear crying, or I hear laughing, and it's quite weird. But so I do know that the psychic part is there. I'm more comfortable with that part because that has been something I've been experiencing for years and years. But the medium part, I'm not too comfortable with because I don't see them like you and I see each other. I
Yeah.
don't, I can sense them. Like earlier today, I knew that somebody was in my studio with me and I turned my camera on because I was like, oh, Lee's got to see this, got to record this so he can see it later. Got to show the world. I'm on social media everywhere. And I knocked on the ceiling, and waited and waited. And then I got a tap knock. I was like, huh, okay. But like, I just don't feel comfortable because I don't communicate with them like I guess other mediums do. You know what I mean? I compare myself
Yeah.
to people that have been doing this 30 years and I've only been aware of that part of my abilities for like 3 months.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I interviewed somebody a few weeks ago, and you probably know her, JJ.
Mm-mm.
She's a friend of Tommy's as well. JJ Rose. Get her on your show.
Okay. Hold on. Let me make a note.
Yep, do
JJ.
that because she is amazing. She was talking about astral projection and all this kind of stuff. And I listened to the episode that she was on with Tommy, and she was describing bits and bobs in Tommy's house. She's in California, Tommy's in England, I'm in Canada.
Oh, she
So
was
I
remote viewing.
correct. And
Oh,
we had
wow.
some really cool examples of her remote viewing to the point, well, I'm not going to tell you because it's part of the episode, that she was like, yeah, not 100%, but between 85 and 95% spot on.
That is
And it's
incredible.
and it's like, hang on a minute, you are in California. How the hell are you doing this? And I was like mind blown 100%. And it was fantastic. I, I've got a new best friend, and she actually said to me, you see spirits? And I went, no, don't think I do. She went, stop bullshitting me. You do. She, she goes, but you just don't acknowledge the fact. And then she said that I was a sensitive as well. So I'm looking into that in a more closely like detail to see,
Mm-hmm.
again, like you, new to the job, so to speak, and just to see what comes out. So you're the first
Right.
person I've told that I'm looking into it. So keep it quiet. Don't
I
tell
won't.
anybody.
I won't tell anybody. It's a secret.
Okay, perfect.
You know, what's
Yes.
crazy is like I've had 3 or 4 psychics tell me that I'm sensitive. 2 of the 3 or 4, I can't remember how many. I'm trying to like count in my head. It was 1, 2, 3. So it's been 4 psychic mediums tell me, "Hey, you're a psychic medium."
We weren't doing math, remember? We weren't
I
doing
know.
math.
Sorry, crap. I just want to do math. I just want to math. Sorry.
So,
They said 2 of the 4 said, "Your gift is to help people cross over." And I'm like, I don't even know where to begin with that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but both of them said it. Both of them are completely independent of each other, don't know each other, aren't following each other in any capacity anywhere. One's in Canada, one's in Florida. And both of them said that to me 2 years apart. And I'm like, well, is there any other guidance you could give me? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know,
Is
and
there a
one,
book? Is there a starter book?
yes, where's that Beetlejuice book? You know what I mean? Like, where is that at? And like, it's like, but what I found, I make people cry a lot. That's what I've learned. I make people cry a lot. And because sometimes it just hits me. I'm like, is your dad departed? And the last girl I made cry last week, she's like, yeah. And she goes, recently. And I was like, well, he's really proud of you. And it's not like I can see him, I just can feel him, and then it's just like I'm a mother, so I know that, like, overjoy that you feel, like, "Oh, I'm so proud of my kid," and that's what I started feeling, and then she cried, and I'm like, "Oh, no, no."
I'm glad to say that, I'm glad to say that, when you make people cry, you're not one of these people that walk around and just punch people in the face
Not
just
yet,
to make them cry. Not yet. Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
You
I
know,
just wanted
I am 41, so there might come a day and a time where my hormones are no more, and I might just sucker punch somebody. I do have 3 teenagers and a husband, right? I might.
oh, there's no might about it. You will. You absolutely will.
I'm just gonna just
Yeah.
hopefully not like that. That was a horrible punch.
So, ghost gossip. How did this come about?
I was listening to paranormal podcast, and I was listening to one of them, and I was like, I could do this. I could do this. And ghost gossip. I mean, it was just. I think I heard somebody say we're just gossiping about ghost, and I went ghost gossip, and it just stuck in my head, and I was like, that is easy to remember. It's nondescript but descript enough where I could talk about anything in the paranormal world
Yeah.
because gossip, even though I know gossip has a negative connotation, we all gossip, hush. It's I could talk about people's ghost stories. I can talk about paranormal groups and investigative groups. I can talk about history of locations. I can talk about Bigfoot, aliens, anything.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. Love it. I've met so many amazing people.
And the way that, the way that I created Super Paranormal Chronicles. Super is obviously our name, and then I was toying around with the group. What kind of, the rest of the title, and what words do we need? I wanted paranormal in it, and then someone said Paranormal Chronicles. Okay, but when I googled the word paranormal because I wanted to do this the right way, I'd never realised on how many subcategories
Mm-hmm.
of paranormal there was. You've got your ghosts, your spirits, your UFOs, your cryptids. Yeah, but there's much, 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 much more, and I didn't realize. So I thought to myself, what I'm going to do, I'm not just going to concentrate on ghosts. Like there's a lot of them out there that just concentrate on haunted locations or ghosts. I'm going to cover everything. And I mean everything within the paranormal. I've spoken to people that have seen fairies, near-death experiences, UFOs, cryptid. And I want to cover as much different aspects of the word paranormal that I can. And I think that's the right way to go about it, because you have so many different stories. You're not just kind of stuck in one little like
That's right.
box of certain stories.
It's more than just, the bump in the night,
Yeah,
the ghost, the demonic. It's more than just the spiritual realm. There's so much in the paranormal world. It's crazy. It's crazy how vast it is.
yeah. I'm a firm believer that there's a lot of people that say that this is either BS or it doesn't exist. But if that's the case, how come so many people are having so many different experiences that
Mhm.
they cannot explain?
Exactly. And it goes back centuries.
Yeah,
Centuries. And it doesn't matter where they are in the world, before there was social media, before there was newspapers, in just caves on, the Native Americans, they drew on walls, they drew what they saw. They were seeing something they couldn't explain. They were seeing lost loved ones and ancestors. I mean, it's like, how can you say that it doesn't exist when for centuries, with people all across the world, have experienced something similar, and they can recite it to you, and it's so similar to the Joe down the street in Alabama, and just like up in Canada or in Australia, people are having these same experiences. Like, how can you say that nothing else exists? It's like,
exactly,
I mean,
exactly. And it's interesting that you mentioned the D word, because so many people, and unfortunately, especially on TV, where it's like, oh, it's got to be a demon. It's like, oh,
I
come
know,
on.
I know,
And
y'all are exhausting me here.
yeah, exactly. And one thing that I always like to do, I will kind of twist that around and go, just because you've got the word demon on a device or an app or whatever, does not necessarily mean there's a demon. It could mean that they're calling you a demon for using this technology that they are not familiar with.
Right, you
And
are
people,
doing
yeah,
something that they, I mean, if it's 1,800 people, they don't know what you got in your hand.
no. But I do have a theory of to why there were so many Ouija boards going around in the 1800s. Quite simple. They never had TV.
That
They
makes
never
sense.
had they never had social media, so they had to do something in the evening. Let's do a Ouija board. Let's summon a couple of ghosts.
Yep, it was a big deal back then. Like,
Oh yeah,
spirituality in general,
yeah.
they would have parties, they were getting it.
See, we're in the wrong time period. It was
We
much
are.
more fun back then. See, with all this.
See?
So I've been stalking your Instagram a little bit, and I've noticed that you've got a fair few locations on there. Have you been to any or a few of these, or are you just the person that will talk about a location and not actually been there?
Some of them I've been to, a lot of them I haven't because there's so many, but I do. I've been to the Crescent, I've been to the Green Park, I've been to the Omni Grove Park, I've been to the Omni Parker House, what is it? Parker House Hotel up in Boston. I've been to several of them. I have a list, and that's we just kind of go down the list. And of course, we have to fly there because there's nothing local. So it's one of those things. I have a lot of friends in Kansas, and there's so much in Kansas. So I do plan, because I don't work, I have this ability. I hopefully will get to go to Kansas and spend a week and be able to go to a whole, like, a chunk of these, because they're all within like 45 minutes of each other.
Yeah,
And but yeah, some of them, no, I haven't, some of them I have. And I do plan to hit a lot of them. Like, I want to go, and I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm not an investigator. Because I'm sensitive, I like to go and just see what I feel. Oh, I have been to the Lizzie Borden house, and like, I just like going and sensing things and picking up on things and just using the senses to see what comes through. And I have all the gadgets and the toys, and those are fun. You know what I mean? Like the apps and stuff. I'm like, oh, I love this. I love that. It's so fun. But when I go to these places, I just like to feel my way through it.
yeah. And it's funny enough, the Lizzie Borden house was on my list of certain places that you mentioned, but another one that I really want to go to. But again, like you said, you have to travel. Up here in Canada, we have a few locations, but you guys have stolen them all. Almost of them.
My bad.
Yeah, yeah. I expect a written apology on
We're
my
an
desk for.
invasive species down here.
Yeah, but like, yeah, Trans Allegheny, for example, I
Yes.
would love to go there.
Me too.
Eloise is another one
Yes.
that I'd love to go to as well.
That's
And
on
there's
my
so
list to do a short thing on.
yeah, and there's so many that you can go to. You
Mhm.
could literally quit your job, start a podcast, and then go traveling. Oh, maybe there we go.
That's me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did that.
and yeah, just get a big like Winnebago or whatever, and just drive around the country.
Oh, I wish. If we
Oh
weren't
man,
blended, and we didn't have the issue with other parents and stuff, that would be great. I'd take the dogs. Oh, yeah.
homeschooling, take the kids away, homeschooling. There you go.
Teach them about location, on location.
That would be perfect. That'd be
It would
absolutely
be.
perfect. So
But I don't think I could live in a Winnebago with 3 teenagers, to be honest.
yeah, that's a good. Yeah, but like, just drop them off somewhere for the week and then pick them up on the.
I'm gonna drop my we're heading your way. See you in
Okay,
a few
yeah,
days.
it's sort of like, yeah, get to the border, guys. Can you just like push these guys a little bit further? There you go. So, with all the time that you've been doing ghost gossip, do you have any particular stories that stand out, like
I have
mind blowing or?
I have so many stories. Like, I think Thomas and I or Tommy, I don't Tommy. I think
You
he
heathen!
I know.
I'm going to tell him you called him Thomas.
I called him his birth name, and I mean business.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
talked for
Mama.
2 hours. 2 hours, and I didn't even realize it was 2 hours. I have so many, but I think one of my favorites oh gosh, hold on. Let me think.
Oh
Like,
dear.
so have you heard of the Crescent Hotel?
I've heard of it.
So it's in Arkansas. It is my favorite place. I feel like it calls to me. I don't know if I lived there in a previous life. I don't even know, but I love that place. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, I love that." And I want to go. And that was the first paranormal location I ever went to, and it did not disappoint. It was my husband, the skeptic he is. He was less he was more skeptical then than he is now, and he's so supportive. My husband is so supportive. He's like, "You wanna do it? You do it. Go ahead." So, we flew out there, and the first night, we had dinner in the restaurant, and the restaurant was directly above our room, and so it was all carpeted, and the only thing not carpeted was, like, the balcony. So, we were not under the balcony, of course. We're sleeping. It's 3:30 in the morning. We are knocked out. We've been up since, like, 3 o'clock in the morning the previous day to travel. So, we are sleeping, and all of a sudden, we hear aggressive, I mean aggressive scratches move over our bed, down the ceiling to the other side of the room. Like, it was so loud, both of us shot up out of sleep, and Daniel goes, "Whoa, whoa," and I'm like, "They're scratching on the ceiling. They're scratching on the ceiling." And we both are, like, listening to because it was just like, "Choom, choom, choom," and then we went back to sleep. That's the weirdest part to me that both of us were like, "Okay, that happened. Good night." And then the next day, we had the paranormal tour, which was great. Me being sensitive, of course, I get nauseous and a headache and everything, get really dizzy. But afterwards, one of the ghosts there is Michael. Michael died during the construction of the Crescent Hotel. He was a ladies' man, and he's like, sees a pretty girl and he's like, "Hey," trying to get her attention. He falls to his death, dies in room 218. He's
Typical
very
man.
handsy.
Yep.
He's very handsy with the women. He does not, he will play like mess with the men there. Well, I was changing and I, putting my pajamas on. I had really long hair at the time, so I had my hair up on a bun, and I feel something caress the backside of my arm. And I thought it was my husband. That's how real it felt. And I turn around and he is in bed about 8 feet from me. And I was like, "Did you just touch me?" We have this conversation a lot. And he's like, "No, I'm over here." And I was like, and I started looking for like a piece of hair, and there was nothing there. But yeah, the back of my arm, it felt like spider webs, but it felt like fingertips. Just kind of caressed the backside of my arm. So the crescent was really cool. That's a really cool memory.
That's Cool. And it's funny how you mention about like hotels and rooms. We went to a fantabulous, that's not a proper word, fantastic location in New York State, just over the border.
Was it the Claire
Tas-
house?
it was the, no, it was not. I'm trying, oh my God. It was a hotel, and
Okay.
it's going to kick me now that I can't remember what it is, but it's an oldie worldy Scottish inn, uh, the Brer Lock Inn, New
The
York
what?
State. Brer Lock Inn,
Okay.
and it's just over the border, like about an hour and a half over the border, and very oldie worldy. And there was three of us that went. Um, they was in one room, I was in another, and these were the two most haunted rooms by all accounts.
Right.
We experienced a few things, but then we was talking to the owner, and as you come down this sweeping wooden staircase on the left hand side, big wooden door that's sealed shut.
Hmm.
And she was saying that, yeah, some people came down about a year ago looking for me. And as they came down the stairs, they looked into this door because it was open. So a black tie party didn't want to interrupt because they were looking for, and just, okay, well, she's probably at the party. We'll come back in later. And when they saw her, they went, oh, we thought you'd be at the party. Well, what party? Well, the party through the black door. The black door's been sealed for like 40 years. And
Oh
they saw
boy,
like a time slip kind of thing.
that's so cool.
Yeah. And somebody else experienced a similar thing like
Wow.
a few months afterwards. And
Wow.
it's like, yeah, you get these kind of stories and these kind of instances about what happens. And it's like, it really gets your mind thinking. Because we had, like I say, we had a couple of instances that we happened. Like, I think I saw an apparition, but only I was there. So, yeah,
Right.
just my personal experience. Did it happen? I think it did, but and then we had a few other things, but it's always seems to be when you least expect it as well. Yeah, we knew that there were stories of people walking down the corridors and this kind of stuff, but we always like go in there with an open mind so that anything that happens it's completely raw, so to speak. We don't expect something to happen, but if it does, it's a bonus.
Right. That's kind of how I feel. I go into these locations with zero expectations. And I'm like, if nothing happens, that is completely fine. I love history. I love architecture. And I love making memories with my husband. And traveling and eating is those are the things that we do together. Like that is something like we take our kids places, but when we go to places like this is our thing that we do together
Yeah,
and absolutely love it. And it's like, if we experience something, it's great. Like when we went to the Green Park, which is located in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, it we didn't experience anything. Well, I felt things. I felt the feelings, but the main thing was when we walked in, it was completely empty. There was nobody there except the lady at the front desk, but it felt like you walked into a room full of people and my husband felt it too. And like he kept looking around his shoulder, like looking around, like over his shoulder, like he was waiting for somebody to appear. And it was it there's no other way to explain it. Just felt like there was so many people there, but there was nobody.
and that's the fun thing about doing what we do. Some people may call us crazy. Some people call us like you're mental, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if we are doing what we're doing and we actually experience something, that's another step on that ladder to prove that something does exist. Because if
Yep.
people just were so skeptic and negative, most people wouldn't be doing what we're doing now.
That's right.
So,
Yep.
do you have a favorite subject within the paranormal?
No, I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. I love it all. I do not like crawlers. That is my least favorite. I can tell you that right there. Crawlers and elementals are my least favorite. I don't like them. I haven't really done anything on them. They scared the tar out of me and don't like them. But everything else, I am equally as fascinated in.
Yeah, because I've obviously spoken to people and I've had multiple ghost stories. I've been speaking to people about cryptids and about UFOs and out of body experiences. But if I could pick a couple, because I've got a couple, skinwalkers would be one of them,
Woo!
because I want to find out more about what they actually are,
Eeh.
and then time slips are another one.
It is very cool. That is super interesting.
Yeah, and like I've read about time slips in the US, in the UK, and yeah, no two time slips are the same, and the kind of stuff that people experience. That's a watch. Well done.
Sorry, I'm getting notices of my cameras.
Oh, okay. So, intruders. Oh, this will be
Yes,
live on the. Yeah, yeah,
intruders in my driveway.
yes,
It's my
yeah.
husband's
And
problem right now.
okay, yeah, and it's like, yeah, there's something about the proverbial time travel or the time slip that really does intrigue me. But then when you talk about things like skinwalkers and stuff
Mm,
like that, it's sort of like, okay, I want to find somebody that I can talk to. Yeah, because within the indigenous community, it's kind of a taboo subject
yeah,
because of their beliefs, which is not a bad thing. So it's very difficult to actually talk to somebody about that. But I'm pushing. I'm definitely pushing towards it.
yeah. I
So,
actually just
go
had
on.
an interview with somebody, and they are hooking me up with, I think, a demonologist, and I'm not sure what his experience is with skinwalkers, but when I talk to him, I will ask him.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about doing what we're doing because everybody has connections.
That's right.
And like I interviewed, this is a really cool story. I interviewed a demonologist that lives in Brazil,
Oh,
and
wow.
the buddy that put me in touch with him was saying, "Oh yeah, he doesn't speak English." I went, "Well, how's he been communicating? Oh, he's been using a translator when he's been doing your emails." This guy's American and just lives in Brazil. And when I came online, I went, "Oh, you speak English?" Well, yeah. Well, this guy told me that he didn't. He went, "He's an ass." Yes, yes, he is. Yes, it's an absolute ass.
I had somebody who wrote a book, and the author is a female, and her name's Jennifer. And I was doing an interview with, I thought was the writer of this book, and it comes on, and it's a man. His name's Brian.
But it's funny how that happens because sometimes when you're speaking to an author or you're speaking to somebody who's been on TV, they've got plenty of content on their social media. And then you speak to somebody that you're absolutely struggling to find stuff. And you go, oh my God, what are we going to be able to talk about for the next hour? And then the episode just unravels itself.
Yeah.
And then after that, you go like, oh, been talking for an hour. How did we do that?
Yeah, I know. I do it all the time. I just talk all day.
So how often do you release episodes on Ghost Gossip?
Every week, every
Uh,
Monday.
Okay,
It
yeah,
was
because
every other week, but once I quit work, I was able to do every week.
I started doing once every couple of weeks,
Hmm.
but I'm one of these people where I will just reach out to people, and I
I
got
know.
so many yeses that I thought, hang on a minute, if I do it once every 2 weeks, I'm going to be snowballed. So I then started releasing it every week, and I still had so many people saying yes. So in July, I did two a week for the month of July
Oh, wow.
because I had so many. And
That's
it's
awesome.
like, even now, I've still got like about 4 weeks to go
That's
before.
great though. That's a good problem to
Yeah,
have.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And one thing about this is that you never lose uh, enough towards the subject because there's so many different
Hmm.
subcategories that I mentioned earlier. So, again, let's go back to ghost gossip because that's why you're here. I know I mentioned it earlier and we kind of got a little bit sidetracked, but one of your favourite episodes because you went on a dog's leg when I asked you last time.
I have ADHD, and sometimes I talk in circles, and that's okay.
Okay, that's not a
My
problem at all.
my favorite episode that I've done? Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite episode. Like, oh, I I did a dollhouse one recently with a girl named Jocelyn. I say girl, she's a woman. She is a lady. She has over 100, almost 100 haunted dolls in her house.
Oh my god!
And I was using my abilities to try to pick up on her dolls, and that was really cool. I shocked myself at how much I got right. And even, like, during the interview, asking questions, like, it would just pop in my head, like, "Oh, did this one die of this?" And it's like, sorry, there's a little bug there. And, it was just that was really cool. I shocked myself, truly shocked myself, but it was really neat to have that interaction in, like, real time. And then I really love the Washoe Club, which is in Nevada. That was a lot of fun to record that one, and so much history. And then my husband and I did one of, like, paranormal games, like the elevator game and Bloody Mary and some other paranormal games. And I read Reddit stories for that one, and we were so creeped out after. It was a lot of fun.
And like I say, and that's part and parcel of why we do what we do. You can be crying for the entire episode of laughter because you're having so much fun with somebody, or your mind then gets completely blown away. I was talking to a guy in the spring, UFO investigator, and he's going, "Oh yeah, this was about the time that I got abducted," and he just dropped it into the conversation.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I need a
Yeah,
warning before that, sir.
yeah, exactly. So afterwards, it's like, dude, like you can't just drop that into a conversation. But now I'm getting him back next year, season 2, breaking news, uh,
Ooh,
to talk about his alien abduction.
very cool.
Yeah, and it just kind of like bombshell alien. It's like what?
Yeah, I've had those
Yeah,
moments. I can't remember them off the top of my head right now, but I've had those moments. I'm like,
yeah,
"Wait, what?"
yeah. And the Exorcist that I was talking to a few weeks ago, his episode's coming out in a couple of weeks' time, and he was telling me that his girlfriend was wore a possessed pendant. She then went over into like the crab position and then crawled up the wall
No, thank you.
backwards.
No, thank you.
And it's like WTF? Like what? And it's like, and they are the. I love the jaw dropping moments of talking to people, and it just completely throws you along your complete track of what you say, what you're talking about. You just go, what? What did you just say?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. I don't think I have any of those.
Hey, never say never
Well, never, yeah. As of right now, I don't think I have any of those jaw drop. I have never backwards crab crawled up a wall.
of what you know of.
That's true. I do take Ambien sometimes. There's no telling what I do. I do order some stuff. Lots of things come in sometimes, and I'm like, when did I order this? In the middle of the night.
Oh, you're one of those shoppers.
When I'm on Ambien, I sure am.
Yeah. So let's just flip over to your husband for a minute. What would you say was the deciding factor that made him a believer?
When he was sitting in the living room taking a practice test, he was studying for a licensing for his job, and the light came on in the sunroom. And he goes, I had told him stuff happens in the house. Just talk to them. They were human at one point. They're still human in some regard. Just talk to them like they're people. And so he's like, he's heard me talk to him. So he's like, I don't need that on right now. Could you turn it off for me? And he went back to studying and it went off. And he's like, okay. And then I had gone to bed, and this is when I was still working. And so I'd always go to bed early, but I think this was around the weekend. I still go to bed. I'm old. I go to bed early. I like sleep. And
Old. Excuse me.
well, I'm older than some.
Old. Old-ish. Old-ish.
I'm middle-aged. I am
Okay.
officially middle-aged, okay? I'm thankful I don't look middle-aged, but I am middle-aged.
Yeah.
And so I went to bed and I was still awake. I heard footsteps upstairs and I was like, Daniel must have gone upstairs. Well, he was in the living room. He heard footsteps as well with the dog. And he said the dog looked up because they both thought I went upstairs because all of our kids, we have our kids full time. So every other weekend, the kids go to their other parents. And so the kids were with their other parent. And so there was nobody upstairs, but the footsteps were clear as day. It was just somebody walking from one side of the upstairs to the other. The dog heard it and he was like, okay, there's something more than just because he always blames stuff on in the house. It was a bug. It was a bug. It was a bug, Ashley. It was just a bug, Ashley. Shut up. It wasn't a bug. It was never a bug, Daniel.
Poor Daniel. I bet he's henpecked as well.
Yeah, well, we had a motion light in his closet and it would always go off. It was almost like it was responding to certain things, and he would say, "It's a bug." And my husband's about 6'2", and the light was probably about 9 feet in the air, and I would literally have to, like, do this to it to get it to come on, and he would have to enter the closet, and once his head hit the closet, it would turn on. But for me, being shorter, I was like, "Hey," so I'm like, "That is the most giant bug if a bug is setting that thing off. We need to call Terminex."
100%. Okay, $1 million question. If you were able to prove one particular kind of paranormal substance, what would it be? It could be ghosts or cryptids or UFOs. If you could prove one, which would it be?
Well, I'm not a Bigfoot girl, but Bigfoot might be one of them as long as they wouldn't be harmed. That's one of them. And then I would ghosts, spirits. I am a true believer that your ancestors stay with you and that your loved ones are with you, looking out for you all the time. And I have communicated with mine. I have felt them. I have seen them. And like, I know I am 100% certain that my ancestors are with me. I know it's them. I would bet money on it. Like, but I can't prove it. But that would be one because I find it when people don't believe that they have their family members with them and they just are just walking through this world thinking that we are the only ones that exist, it makes me sad because I have had so many beautiful experiences with my loved ones, with people I don't know, with complete strangers, and it is humbling and it is beautiful, and I just wish everybody could have that same experience and just, I mean, they stick with you forever.
For sure. And that is probably one of the most perfect answers I've ever had. Yeah. But it's
Woo!
funny. It's funny how you mentioned about Bigfoot because I've spoken to a couple of people, and whenever I speak to anybody about cryptids, I always give them this question: that if you could prove the existence of cryptids, number one, would you publicize the fact? And number two, what would you do about it? Yeah, and what? Yeah, most of them go, yes, I would publicize the fact. However, I would not give the location.
Yeah, I don't think I would publicize it
Yeah.
because I'm such a like, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Like he's existed all these years. Don't go because you know what's going to happen. Some cowboy who thinks he's got something to prove is going to go and kill him. Leave him alone. They're not bothering anybody.
This is true. And all they do is throw rocks at people because they're jumping on their turf.
That's right. You are in their space. Like my husband went hunting yesterday. He has not hunted in the whole time of our relationship. And he decided to take his son hunting. And I told him, I was like, you need to give the deer a rifle and even the playing field. That's all I have to say.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so we are coming towards the end. However, you mentioned about some of the locations that you've been to or would like to been to. Give me your bucket list of top 3 locations.
That I've been to or that I
No,
want to go to?
that you want to go to.
Okay. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. That's one. The Claire House, which is in New York, right on the border next to Canada. That's why I thought you were talking about that one because it is so close to the border. And the Charleston Jail and the Battery Carriage House Inn in Charleston, which are probably where we'll go next because we're in South Carolina. Charleston's about 4 hours from where we live.
And when do you hope to go to any of those?
Stanley Hotel will probably be next year because we went to Boston this year and we went to the Lizzie Borden House and we went to the Omni Parker House Inn. So that was our trip this year. So next year will probably be the Stanley Hotel. And I thought actually there's a Paracon in Colorado, and some of my friends are hosting. So I was like, maybe I should go, and then I could go to the Stanley Hotel. But I don't think my husband could go, and I know he really wants to go. So I might just have to wait on that one.
You go without him. Let him stay at home. It's fine.
I know. I mean, he wouldn't care if I go to the Paracon, but if I went to the Stanley Hotel without him, he would probably be a little bummed.
Yeah, because the wife and I went to a Paracon in New Jersey in November, and we're coming over the border and we're speaking to the TSA agent. Where are you going? New Jersey. What are you going there for? A Paracon. What's one of those? It's a paranormal convention. Close your passport. Have a nice day. And then
like, ugh.
Yeah, and then when we come back the other side, speaking to the Canadian people, and it's like, where have you been? Been to a paranormal convention. Have you brought anything back? And I'm going, nope, the wife wouldn't let me bring a Ouija board back, nor a haunted doll. And the girl goes, no, I wouldn't let you either. Have a nice day.
I will say I don't have any that I know of. I don't have anything haunted other than my houses. So, like, I don't like to carry it around. I just like to live in it.
Oh, that's fine. Good. Okay, Ashley, what's next on the agenda for Ghost Gossip, and where do you see yourself in 2 to 5 years with regard to Ghost Gossip?
Oh my goodness, my husband just asked me that same question the other day.
Yeah, he texts me, so make sure that you ask after this.
I knew it because I asked him. I was like, why are you asking me this? He's like going to get everybody start asking me, give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I don't know. I will say I really want to interview Twin Paranormal. And I know that's not for the Ghost Gossip, but I think it'd be huge for Ghost Gossip. I'm not sure if you know who they are. They're on YouTube. They are outrageous and they're young and they're tattooed and they have crazy hair and but they're so fun. And I really would love to interview them just for my own personal goal. That's kind of like a personal goal for me. But with Ghost Gossip, I would love to be known in my area as a local podcast that's successful. And I don't know, I would just love to be able to go to more of these places and experience in them more. I would love to be able to go on some investigations with some local groups just to do more, see more, put my hands on it and be there. And I would love to go to a Paracon as Ghost Gossip. You know what I mean? Not just as a visitor.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Ghost Gossip and people be like, I've heard of you. This is Ghost Gossip. Like, yes, that's me.
Yeah. We're actually quite lucky the fact that I'm involved with the Comic Con world as well. And our local one that we have in Ottawa, we're actually quite lucky to have a table at our local convention. So yeah,
That's awesome.
we have all the equipment there, and people come and talk to us and tell us all these stories, and it's really good times. And it's amazing how many people actually will come up to you and go, well, this one time, and then go into their story.
Yep.
And as soon as people know that you take this seriously, everybody opens up and go, oh yeah, let me tell you about the time when.
Yeah, even skeptics sometimes have stories and they don't even realize they have them, and then they say them and they're like, I don't. That's just shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just accept it, Steve. You experienced something that you cannot explain.
Yeah, and I had a skeptic who said that what I do is complete bullshit. So I went, oh, then obviously you've got the evidence. And he went, well, no. And I went, so how do you know it's bullshit? Well, it just is. Well, you can't say that on something you don't understand. And I actually turned his way of thought into being a skeptic with an open mind.
Well, my daughter is a huge skeptic, especially of me as a psychic, quote unquote psychic, and it's fun to mess with her. But like she's like, if it's not real, you can't see it, it's not real. And I'm like, do you see the wind? And she kind of just stopped and looked at me. I was like, do you see static? And she just like stares at me. I'm like, Do you see radio waves that you're listening to? Do you see the light traveling from one location to the other? I said, there's so many things that you cannot see, but yet you know exist. And she just, ugh.
Mom.
Mom, I just don't believe in it, Mom. Okay, honey.
Okay. By the way, you're being adopted next week.
Yes. Well, who you think she ran to when she saw the shadow standing at the top of the stairs last week? Wasn't anybody but Mama. Okay.
There you go. Ashley, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. We've had some really good laughs and some really good fun. Don't be a stranger. I will definitely have you back on for some more ghost gossip in the near future.
Would love to be back.
Absolutely. But for now, you have a great rest of the evening. Don't get sunburnt too much in that hot part of the country.
I shall try.
And when it snows, I'll send you some pictures.
Yeah, I love snow.
Okay. Have a great rest of the evening. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.